Hey fellow foodies, it's Faye from faysfood.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make Lebanese Knafeh na'ameh.
In the bowl I have some fine semolina and a little bit of sugar, and I added just a bit of water. I'm going to add in the rest of my ingredients, starting with some milk. But I melted some ghee in. I put it all together and then put them in the microwave. And also melt them over the stove top. If it resolidifies like this, it's no big deal. Alright, next thing to add is 1 tablespoon of large blossom water. I'm going to do a half tablespoon of rose water. Next, we're going to add in a half tablespoon of butter. And just some simple syrup. I have the recipe for this on my Instagram. This is going to add just a bit of sweetness. And then I'm going to give everything a mix. And as you work this, the liquid will soak into the semolina more and more, and it will become sort of like a pasty kind of dough. Right on my sheet tray, I lined it with some parchment. I sprayed it with some cooking spray. I'm just going to place the dough on the parchment. The oven's preheated at 350, and I'm going to bake this off for around 10 minutes. It's not going to get any color. It's not going to rise. It's not going to spread. Really all it's going to do is dry up a bit, so it's no longer this wet dough. Okay, and then after I place it on the sheet, I like to spread it a bit. Okay, I'm going to get this in the oven, and like I said, we're going to bake it for around 10 minutes.
So out of the oven, this is what it's going to look like. You can see it definitely dried up a bit, and it's just one solid kind of cakey thing, and that's what we want. So we're going to just break this up into bigger pieces and then put it in our food processor to break it down even more. We want fine crumbs, and if you have the patience and the time, I would say you can even push these crumbs into like through a sieve, so get even kind of powder like crumbs, just so it's even finer. If you don't, it will still work out. I did it in my testing, and I'm doing it in this video without doing that step because it does take some patience and time. But I just want to show you that you have both options available. So what you want to do is just press the crumbs into your prepared cake pan. We lined it with parchment and greased it with ghee and cooking spray. And now we can focus on our cheese filling. So in the filling, it's fresh mozzarella that is shredded. We have low moisture mozzarella that's also shredded. And then we have akawi cheese, which you can find at a local Middle Eastern market. But it's important to have the cheese all at room temperature, all shredded kind of the same size. And with the akawi cheese, you also want to soak it in cold water for anywhere from 5 hours to up to overnight. And then you want to pat it dry, and then you can use it in your recipe. So we're just melting this over medium to medium low heat. Some liquid will come out, that's totally normal. And you just want to cook it for about maybe 10 minutes or so until it's a uniform kind of cheese ball mixture. And then you can take that while it's pliable and warm and put it into your crust. And then you can just use an offset spatula to spread it to the edge. You do want to leave about a 1/4 inch gap from the edge. I find the best way to really spread this though is with your hands. That works the best. So just pat it as evenly as you can. And it's important to work quickly. You pretty much want to put the warm cheese in the crust. You don't want to let it cool down before doing this step. And this is going to be actually cooked over a stovetop. So make sure that it's not centered. You only want half the pan over the flame because you don't want it to burn. And you're just going to use a tongue to turn this kind of quarter turns constantly. You don't want it set over one spot too long. So you're doing that for 10 to 15 minutes until the edge is golden brown. The color I got, you can go even further. And traditionally it is even darker than what I have here. So you just wanna, you'll be able to smell it. You'll smell the toasted crust. It will kind of solidify and it won't be like crumbly anymore, and you'll see the color. So the color of the edge, the crumbs on the edge, that's kind of be the color of your knafeh. Okay, so I do wait about 5 to 10 minutes before I turn it out onto my serving platter or plate. And while it's warm, you want to spoon over that attar all over, because that's really what's going to give it way more flavor. And it also adds a nice shine to the knafeh. The knafeh itself is not inherently sweet, and the simple syrup is what adds that sweetness. So I'm just going to garnish it with some chopped pistachios as well. Make sure to use sweet pistachios, not salty. And this is our finished knafeh. It's a lot easier to make than you think. As you saw, the process didn't really take much. And you'll just have amazing knafeh to have for breakfast or for dessert. I will follow up with a kak recipe at some point, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you can eat it as is. This is best served warm, so definitely either microwave it right before you serve it, or you can just keep it over a water bath, so you can get that nice cheese pull and it's warm. You can't eat knafeh cold. It's not a thing. So yeah, I hope you guys give this a try. For the full recipe, go to facefood.com. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.